Good evening, boys and girls. I have an interesting story for you tonight. It's called Thank You, Santa, and it's written by, or the author is Margaret Wild, and illustrated by Carrie Argent. Now, years ago, people used to have what's called a pen pal, and you would write letters to each other, and you just kept exchanging them. And some people did this for years. They would go back and forth with their pen pal. Nowadays, we tend to text or email and this fast stuff, but it's kind of fun to get letters in the mail. We're going to start right here with January. Dear Santa, thank you for all the presents, especially the knitting needles and balls of wool. They are just what I needed because I'm sick in bed with a cold. But I'm not bored anymore because I'm knitting lots of squares. My mom showed me how to cast on and how to do a plain and purl stitches. Tomorrow I'm going to knit a square with different colors in it. Love, Samantha. P.S. That means postscript. I hope you had a good Christmas too. P.P.S. Can you knit? P.P.P.S. So she keeps adding more postscripts. How are the reindeer? Oh, playing with the yarn. So see the squares she's making? To cast on, I believe, is to get the yarn onto the knitting needles, and plain and purls, that's a type of stitch. I don't know how to knit, so, but I think that's what that stuff is. Oh my. February. Dear Samantha, thank you for your lovely letter. Hundreds of thousands of children write to me before Christmas, but I don't hear from many of them after Christmas. I'm sorry to hear that you are not well. Our littlest reindeer is ill too. He has a runny nose and a bad cough. Mrs. Claus and I are taking turns to keep him company all night. Love, Santa. This must be the littlest reindeer. P.S. We had an excellent Christmas. A snowy owl visited us on Christmas Day. P.P.S. No, I can't knit. My mom never taught me, and Mrs. Claus has forgotten how. Isn't that a pity? Yeah, that would be sad. Look, they got their laundry hanging up. His book fell off his lap. He's sleeping right by the cozy wood stove, I think is what that would be. Nice warm spot to sleep. And that looks like long underwear, which you probably need at the North Pole. March. Dear Santa, I hope the littlest reindeer is much, much better. I've sewn the squares into a jumper for him. Perhaps it will keep his chest warm. I hope it fits. On Sunday, we went to the zoo. I couldn't see a snowy owl anywhere. I said hello to the polar bear, but he just lay there with his eyes shut. I think he's very unhappy. Dad says our weather is too hot for polar bears. When I got home, I put on 3 jumpers, my hat and scarf and gloves, and I laid in the sun for an hour. Now I know what it must feel like for a polar bear in Australia. So she lives in Australia. P.S. What do snowy owls look like? P.P.S. What other animals are there in the North Pole? P.P.P.S. Perhaps I should teach you how to knit. So when she says jumpers, I think she means sweaters. And in Australia, at December, Christmas time, for them is the height of summer. And when we are in the height of summer in July and August, they're in the winter time. It's opposite from us because they're on the other side of the earth. but I think it is very warm in Australia. April. Dear Samantha, the jumper fits perfectly. Here is a special thank you from our littlest reindeer. Oh, look, there's a paw print. Not a paw, a hoof print. Silly me. He's quite all right now, thank goodness, but I don't think I'll let him pull the sleigh again next Christmas. He catches colds so easily. I haven't told him yet because I know that he will be very disappointed. There are lots of animals here in the North Pole. Mrs. Claus and I often watch them, and she does drawings of them. One of our favorites is the Arctic fox. In winter, its long, thick fur is pure white. It has furry feet and a bushy tail to help it keep it warm at night. P.S. I almost forgot. Snowy owls have white and brown feathers. The baby owls are white and fluffy. Oh, that sounds cute. How is your hot polar bear? I would love to learn how to knit. Look at that. I love how they're trying to get it over the antlers. It's a pretty sweater, though. Or jumper, as she calls it. May. Dear Santa, I loved hearing about the Arctic fox. I wish I had a bushy tail to keep me warm in winter. I visited the polar bear again today, and he stared at me without making a sound. It's late autumn here, so in May it's their autumn, like we have in October, November. Let's see. It's late autumn here, so he will no longer be hot, but I'm sure he's worrying about next summer. I wish there was something I could do to keep him cool. Love, Samantha. P.S. What do polar bears eat? The littlest reindeer's going to feel very left out. I'm busy writing a book for you. It will be called How to Knit. Easy peasy instructions for people who know nothing about knitting. Isn't that wonderful? I wish I could get a copy. I would love to learn how to knit, but all right, June. Dear Samantha, today we saw something wonderful. A polar bear taking her cubs out into the snow. They tumbled around and about, roly-poly down the slopes. One of the cubs is very adventurous and went exploring on its own, but the other one kept close to the mother bear. Mrs. Claus did some terrific drawings of them. We pinned them up all over the house, so now we have bears everywhere. Love, Santa. P.S. Polar bears eat meat, usually seals. Sometimes a bear will wait for hours near a hole in the ice, hoping to catch a seal. What he means is that there's a hole where they come up to get air, and the polar bears wait there so that when it comes up, they grab it. I know you're right about the littlest reindeer. He will feel left out, but he's still not strong. And we were very worried last time when he was so ill. PPPS, I'm looking forward to one day to receiving your book on how to knit. Even Santa likes getting presents of sorts. Yeah, he's rolling down, having fun. Too cute. July. Dear Santa, it's the middle of winter now, and I'm hoping for snow. But Mom says it hasn't snowed here in 20 years. So she helped me cut up paper into tiny pieces, and we emptied bucketfuls of paper over our heads and had our own snowstorm in the living room. Love, Samantha. Oh, she's got a reindeer sweater on. P.S. Are there any birds in the North Pole apart from the snowy owl? Mom says in the South Pole there are emperor penguins. As soon as the mother penguin has laid the egg, she leaves it with the father penguin to look after because there is no nest. For 2 months, the father penguin holds the egg balanced on his feet to keep it off the ice. Once the egg has hatched, the chick sits on the mother penguin's feet. I'm glad I didn't have to do that with my guys. Kind of fun, make your own snowball or snow. Oh, there they are. And they're sitting on their eggs. You can tell they got the little bump from the eggs underneath their fur or feathers. Penguins have feathers. And emperor penguins are very tall, by the way. Like 4 feet, something like that. August. Dear Samantha, the emperor penguin is an amazing bird, isn't it? Imagine balancing an egg on your feet for 60 days. Mrs. Claus and I tried balancing a ball on our feet, but we didn't last 60 seconds. I'm very glad I'm not a father penguin. There are lots of birds here. Puffins and terns and snow geese. The snow goose doesn't balance eggs, but it's still an incredible bird. Every September it flies almost 5,000 miles non-stop to a warmer climate. Then in May it flies back to the North Pole again. Love, Santa. Mrs. Claus and I are starting to work on the Christmas toys. I still haven't told the littlest reindeer that he will have to stay home this year for Christmas. So there are some other birds up there. How about that? So they took some time off, but it's August and they're getting back to work, getting ready for Christmas. September. Dear Santa, I'm very glad I'm not a snow goose. All that flying sounds like hard work. I'm such a lazy bones that I even want Dad to carry me up the stairs to bed. Although it is still only spring here, remember their seasons are opposite of us? It's already getting hot. The weather forecaster said we are going to have the hottest summer ever. What will happen to the polar bear? I visited him again on Sunday, and he was just laying there with his nose on his paws. Perhaps he was dreaming of snow and ice. Do you think polar bears can dream? P.S. I know you and Mrs. Claus are busy making toys, but I hope you'll still have time to write me. Please, please let the littlest reindeer pull the sleigh again this Christmas. Yeah, and that polar bear doesn't look too happy, does he? October. Dear Samantha, I told the littlest reindeer that he couldn't pull the sleigh this Christmas. I tried explaining that it's because I don't want him to catch another cold and get so sick again, but he doesn't understand. He thinks I don't want him because he's not as big and strong as the other reindeer. I wish I could think of a way to keep him warm during the long journey. Love, Santa. P.S. I'll never be too busy to write to my favorite pen pal. P.P.S. I'm sure polar bears do dream, especially if they're kept in a zoo. I'm not promising anything, but I will try to make your polar bear's summer a happier one. Ooh, I wonder what that means. Look at that reindeer. He does. He looks so sad. November. Dear Santa, this is a short letter. Here are some early Christmas presents. I hope you or Mrs. Claus likes the paint box and you like the knitting book, wool and needles. There's also a special present for the littlest reindeer. The scarf, woolly cap, and booties will keep him warm as toast, especially if he wears his jumper. P.S. All I want for Christmas is for the littlest reindeer to be happy and for the polar bear's dream to come true. Merry Christmas. So she sent presents to Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. A paint box. Well, Mrs. Claus does like to draw, so that's pretty neat. And a hat, booties, and a scarf for the littlest reindeer. Oh, look. Oh my goodness, he does look happy. Pretty neat. Dear Samantha, what a surprise. Thank you for the lovely presents. Mrs. Claus is delighted with the paint box, and I'm going to start knitting soon. The littlest reindeer keeps jumping for joy. He will be the snuggest, warmest reindeer ever to pull the sleigh. Oh yeah, it looks like it. Love, Santa. P.S. Mrs. Claus and I hope you like the drawings of all the polar animals. Put them on your wall and it will be as if you were with us right in the middle of the North Pole. P.P.S. Why don't you visit your polar bear on Christmas Day? We are bringing something special for him, something that will make his dream come true. A Merry, Merry Christmas to you. Uh-oh, what is he going to bring for the polar bear? Well, let's find out. Oh, what did he bring? Yeah, I think he brought some snow for the polar bear to play with. And in the middle of summer, that would be wonderful for the polar bear. Almost looks like he's smiling. How about that? Santa took good care of the polar bear. All right. Is that it? Oh, she's back to writing. All right. Well, that was fun to see the letters going back and forth and to learn a little bit about Australia being different with the seasons and to hear about the animals at the North and South Poles. Well, good night, sleep tight, happy dreams, maybe even of polar bears. Till next time, bye now.